I'm Dr. N. Santana Vedimu, PG and Research Department of Commerce. I'm going to take the subject setting up of business entities, and the topic is startups in India. What is startups in India? Startups is a company that in the initial stage of business, founders normally finance their startups and may attempt to attract outside investments before they get off the ground. Funding sources include that is family friends, angel investors, venture capitalists, crowdfunding and loans. So what are the types of business organization? There are 5 forms of business organizations, includes the following, that is the partnership, corporation, sole proprietorship, cooperatives and the limited liability company. So these are the 5 forms of business organization. Then what are the factors governing selection of an organization? That is, when selecting an organization, we can consider the factors like management abilities. That is, whether the organization has the expertise to manage all functional areas that they have to see, and they have to see the capital. So capital, that whether the organization can collect capital by issuing shares or combining the resources. Then how the evaluation of business, so how the business came into existence. So the evolution of business is the process of responding to market changes, customer needs and new technologies to remain relevant and successful. This evolution has been made possible by advancement in technologies and human knowledge. Then startup. So there are top startups in India, that is ShareChat, Nykaa, Ola, Swiggy, Servo AI, Jepto, Skyroot Aerospace and Cred. So these are the startups, top startups in India. Then what is startups? So startup is nothing but it is a new business that focused on developing a product or services to meet the market need and then scaling it up. Now what are the characteristics of the startups? So the characteristics of the startup are that they must have the goal. That is, goal means that is startups aim to grow quickly and become a successful profitable business, and the startup must have the challenges. So challenges means that is startup face high uncertainties and have high rates of failure. So they generally launch with high cost and limited revenues and typically require several years to make a profit. Then funding. So funding, the startup look for capital from the variety of sources such as angel investors and venture capitalists. So the government of India defines a startup as an entity that meets the following criteria. So types of companies. So incorporated as a private limited company, partnership firm or limited liability partnership firm. Now startup landscape in India. So India's startup ecosystem is thriving with the countries ranking 3rd globally in the number of startups. So number of startups, as of October 2023, India has over 112,718 startups recognized by the Department for Promotion of Industries and Internal Trade. Then India also ranks 2nd in innovation qualities among middles in startups. So Startup India policies. The Startup India initiative is a government program that aims to support startup and innovation in India. The program has several objectives, including what and all we see, that reducing the regulatory burden. So reducing the regulatory burden, our startup can self-certify compliance for certain labor and environment laws, which can help them focus on their core business. It also provides tax exemption. Startup may be eligible for tax exemption on long-term capital gains. It also facilitates intellectual properties. Startup can receive assistance with filing intellectual properties applications and may be eligible for a rebate on filing fees. Relaxing public procurement norms. Micro and small enterprises may be eligible for relaxed public procurement norms. Then funding support and incentives. India offers several funding support and incentive programs for startups, including Startup India Seed Fund Scheme. It also provides financial assistance to startups at early stages, such as for product trials, prototypes and market entry. The Department for Promotion of Industries and Internal Trade selects eligible incubators who then provide grants to startups. Then funds for startups. A corpus of 10,000 crores to meet the funding needs of startups. The Small Industrial Development Bank of India, it operates the FFC. Then tax exemptions on the capital gains. If the net consideration from the sale of the residential house or plot of land is invested in equity shares of an eligible startup, the capital gains are tax exempt. Then daily entrepreneurship development. It also provides important schemes for the entrepreneurs. Then intellectual property benefit. This also it is helping the entrepreneurs in many ways. Then now, what is not-for-profit organizations? The not-for-profit organization is a legal entity that operates a public good rather than to generate profit for its own owners. Not-profit organization, also known as a non-business entities, non-profit institutions, or we can also say it as a non-profit. Then features of the not-profit organization. So what are the features of the not-profit organization? Not-profit for organization. The features we see, it is a voluntary organization. It is one of the independent one, and we can also say it is a legally registered one, and it is also a formal or institutional existence, and it also promotes a community participation, and it is also not-profit organization. It is also promoting education for the people, and it is also capacity building workshop, and it also helps the economic development. So these are the features of the not-profit organization. The next, trust. What is a trust? So trust is a fiduciary arrangement that allows a third party or trustees to hold assets on behalf of a beneficiary or beneficiaries. Trust can be arranged in many ways and can specify exactly how and when the asset pass to the beneficiaries. Then what are the objectives of the trust? So if we see the objectives of the trust, that is, it is a charitable or the religious purposes it is started, and it is also started for the family welfare, and it is also managing the fund, and it is overall it is educating the people, that is, it is providing education to those in need or establish scholarships, stipend. All these facilities are given by the trust, and it is also providing the medical support to the people, and it is overall, if we see the trust, it is giving welfare for the agricultural workers, farmers, and unorganized laborers and other groups. And if we see the trust, it is also establishing research centers and publish research journals, magazines, and newsletters. It is also undertaking relief operation during the natural calamities and emergencies. It is also a developmental project. It is also conducting development project for rural and urban people. So trust can be registered under the Trust Act of 1882 to ensure they are recognized and operate within the law. Then what is the differences between the public trust and the private trust? So public trust is it is benefiting the general public or a class of a people. So public trust can be charitable or religious in nature. Whereas a private trust is a benefit a close group of people such as relatives and friends of the trust creators. Private trust can be revocable or irrevocable, discretionary or irrevocable or non-discretionary. Then what are the financing options available for the trust? So what are those? What are the forms they are there? That is, there are 7 people must come together to serve a common good. That is, first what they have to do means they have to choose a name. Then they have to prepare the documents related to the trust, and they have to apply for the registration. And what are the documents for applying for the trust? So what are the required documents they must have? That is, they must have the PAN card, they must have the residential proof they must have, and they must have the declaration of the registration. So what are the societies formed for the communal purpose, such as charitable activities, then sports, music, cultural, religion, art, and education? So these are the trusts. These are the trusts which are undertaking today. Then what is limited liability partnership? So limited liability partnership is a business structure that combines the benefits of the company and the partnership. So what are the features of the limited liability partnership? That is, it is a separate legal entity. Then second one, it is a limited liabilities and flexibility. So it can be changed often, and it is one of the perpetual succession. Perpetual succession means that is if the partners may relieve also, the partnership will be for partnership firm will be forever. So that is, the continuity will be forever, and it is one of the hybrid structure we can see. Then what are the advantages of limited liability partnership? So limited liability partnership has several advantages. That is, limited liabilities, it is one of the limited liabilities. It is flexibilities. Third one is the tax efficiencies, and it is easy for incorporation, and it is creditabilities, and it is cost effective, and no minimum capital requirement. So there is no minimum capital contribution required to form a limited liability partnership. Then what are the procedures for incorporation? The procedure for incorporating a company in India was several steps including, that is, what and all they must have. That is the procedures, that is drafting the memorandum of association, and they must obtain the digital signature certificate, and what are the documents that they must have. That is that they must have the proof of the company's official address, then the proof of the identity and address of the subscribers, then proof of identity and address of the applicant, and they must have the submission to the register of the company. The register is satisfied that all the requirements have been made, they will register the companies and issue a certificate of incorporation. So incorporating a business makes it a legal entity separate from the owner, which can protect personal assets and attracts the investors. The next one is the business collaboration. So what is the business collaboration? So business collaboration is when two or more business or team work together to achieve a common goal, solve the problems, come up with new ideas. It can involve internal or external collaborations and can take place in real time or over a longer period of time. So collaborations can be beneficial for business in many ways, including what I told, that is, it is one of the innovative one, and we can also say it is a problem solving, and it is growing. It is often the collaboration is growing for all involved organization, and we can learn because of the business collaboration. We can learn many things. That is, it is developing new skills, and it is one of this collaboration. Business collaboration is one of the trustworthy, we can also say. So collaborations can help build the trust and strengthen the relationship within the business. The next is the types of business collaboration. So what are the types of business collaboration? That is one of the project based one. Project based means it is one of the vertical one, it is one of the horizontal one, and the functional based one. The next one is a joint venture. So joint venture is a business arrangement where two or more entities combine the assets and knowledge to achieve a specific goals. So joint ventures can be common in many industries, including technologies, manufacturing, retail, and services. Then what are the types of business collaboration? So types of business collaboration is one of that is the partnership firm, general partnership, and the limited partnership firm. The next one is a joint venture. So joint venture is a strategic partnership where two or more companies develop a new entity in order to collaborate on a specific project or venture. Then what are the advantages of joint ventures? It shares risk and cost, it access to the resources, it access to the new market, and it increases the capacities and the flexibilities and intellectual property. It is one of the increased property value. So these are the advantages of the joint ventures. Then what are the types of joint ventures? So if we see the types of joint venture, it is one of the project based one, and it is one of the functional based one, and it is one of the vertical one and horizontal one. So these are the types of joint ventures. The next one is the successful joint ventures. There are many numbers of successful joint ventures, and I like to say a few of them. One is the Vistara, then another one is Air Asia, another one is the Mahindra Renault Limited, then Bharati AXA General Insurance Company, then PNB MetLife, and Indo-Cat Private Limited. So these are some of the successful joint ventures. The next one is a special purpose vehicle. So what is a special purpose vehicle? It is a separate legal entity created by the companies to achieve the specific goals. Special purpose vehicles are commonly used in India for a variety of purposes, including it is for foreign institutional investors, we can say. There is foreign companies or use the special purpose vehicles to enter the Indian market, especially in sectors that are restricted and automatic routes. Then securitization, that is banks and financial institutions uses the special purpose vehicles to securitize assets like loans and receivables. And it is and in government project also the specific purpose vehicles are used, and especially it is used in the infrastructural development. And real estate investment trust, it is one of the we have paved the way for real estate investment trust, which offers a new investment avenues for the real estate. So these are the what are the some of the specific special purpose vehicles? We can say it is isolated financial risk, it is direct ownership of the specific assets, and it is a tax savings, and it is easy to create and set up. So the special purpose vehicles are also known as a special purpose entities or the special purpose companies. And what are the advantages of the special purpose vehicles? There is some of the benefits we see, that is, it is a risk management. So this special purpose vehicle, it is one of the risk management, we can say. Tax efficiencies, it is it is also protecting the assets, we can say, and it is easy, that is ownership also can be easily it is transferred from one people to another. So therefore for the purpose also the special purpose vehicle is useful, and it is access to the capital market, and it is one of the bankruptcy remoteness, we can say. Then the limited liability company. So what is a limited liability company? So it is a business structure that separates the business from its owners, protecting them from personal liabilities. So what are the features of the limited liability for companies? That is liability, it is giving the liability protection, it is passed through the taxation, and it is one of the flexible business structure, and it is one of the ownership, you can say, and a number of members are involved in this limited liability companies, and there are also some exemptionaries, and also they are following many rules in this limited liability companies. The next one is a license or registration. So this license or registration is a certificate that allows some individuals or companies to conduct a business or engage in an activity with a certain jurisdiction. So license and registrations can be issued by the government or the private parties and can vary by country, state or local municipalities. So here are some things to know about license and registration. So what is that is the purpose. So the purpose of the license or the registration is that it allows a person or a business to do something that would otherwise be illegal or violate the rights of another party. For example, license is required to drive a car. So that is very important. So the registration is very important. The license is very much important. So how to obtain it? So the license or registration can be obtained by applying for it from a government agency. So by